In a huge shocker and a legit wow moment, Jay Wright announced his retirement as the Villanova basketball coach last night. And this is one that nobody saw coming, but maybe we should have. Jay Wright is 60. Jay Wright is 60 years old. That's impossible to imagine since he looks like he's 40 and he looks great in a suit. And we verbally handed the reins to him from Coach K to Jay Wright as best coach in college basketball when Coach K called it a career. But when you consider Wright's incredible accomplishments, the time commitment, the changing landscape of college hoops, I get it. 2 national titles, 20-4 in the NCAA tournament since 2016, the most wins of any program in that time span. 6 30-win seasons, just incredible. 8 Big East regular season titles, 21 glorious years of domination at Villanova. His dream job. Jay Wright has done it all. Jay Wright's already in the Hall of Fame, and rightly so. And heck, I remember the days when he was amazing at Hofstra before he went to Villanova. Jay Wright's team's always tough, prepared, fun to watch. Jay Wright turned Villanova into a national power. And now he gets to hand over the gig to his old assistant, Kyle Neptune, who was doing a heck of a job over at Fordham. And I think Neptune is a perfect choice, but he's no Jay Wright. Nobody is. I always thought Jay Wright would leave for the NBA. The Lakers, the Knicks, the Nets, most especially the Sixers. We begged Philly to hire him. We begged Jay Wright to take the job. But Nova was always home, and he was always loyal, and he loved it. But it's such a demanding job. The hours of coaching and recruiting and fundraising, it's nonstop. And now with NIL, it's a whole new ballgame. Think about it. Roy Williams, Coach K, Jay Wright, all retiring within a year of each other. It's sad for college hoops. The news last night was sad for Villanova. But I'm happy for Jay Wright. He gets to go out his way at the very top of his profession. I just love that from Jason Tatum. I mean, an old school game. That was an old school kind of comeback win by Boston. Down 17 points to roar back and beat the Brooklyn Nets and take a commanding 2-0 lead in their series. And Boston's second half was perfect. Watching the Celtics play, it's just so much fun. It's an easy kind of team to root for. They share the ball. There's no ego. They play terrific defense, superbly coached, and as a result, you had Brown and Tatum and the role players having once again that amazing knack for playing their best when it matters the most. They don't flinch when they face a huge deficit, and that defense is just amazing. Kevin Durant didn't make a shot in the second half. 0 for 10. 4 turnovers. I mean, we're talking about an all-time offensive ball player that was historically bad. As KD said after the game, the Celtics mucked it up for him. They had 2, 3 bodies on KD. This is when he was off the ball. I mean, it was awesome in terms of the strategy and the execution. And when you consider the first 2 games of this series, I've never seen Kevin Durant play this poorly in a big spot. Kevin Durant has 12 turnovers in the first 2 games, 6 in each. Kevin Durant is shooting 31.7% this postseason. 31.7%! The lowest of any player in the postseason with at least 25 attempts. And Kyrie didn't do anything last night, which was stunning. Brooklyn was carried by its role players. It was wild. I thought the turning point of the entire game was the end of the first half. The Nets had a great opportunity to go up by 20. They failed. Boston gained a ton of confidence going into halftime, and that was all they needed. The Celtics play defense. They're well coached. On the flip side, I mean, Steve Nash doesn't know what he's doing. He treats challenges like a slot machine. Now, I'm not going to call this series over because at some point you figure Kevin Durant comes to play. But I'm feeling really good about picking that old school Celtics team to win. Jimmy Garoppolo laughed when I told him my take from a year ago that it seemed like Kyle Shanahan wanted to write and kill Jimmy G off like he was an actor on a hit drama. But then, as you heard, Jimmy G got both real and serious on last season. It was tough. He called it something he wouldn't wish on anybody. Jimmy G was very candid this morning on my SiriusXM radio show, and he referred to the Niners throughout the course of our interview in the past tense. Last year was emotional, strange. They replaced him, yet they kept him, yet started him, yet it's over. Yet Jimmy G is still here, like literally he's currently still on the team. Now, the shoulder surgery certainly complicated that, and Jimmy said he currently can't pick up a ball, but he does expect to throw at some point fully this summer. There's no doubt Jimmy Garoppolo is a starter in the NFL. He's just not a star. Look, at the end of the day, he cannot, again, be a backup or a safety net for Trey Lance. It worked last year. It was uncomfortable, but it worked to the tune of the NFC Championship game last season, albeit it's very, very awkward. The Panthers should absolutely try and bring him in, but there's a realistic chance that both Jimmy G and Deebo Samuel are off the San Francisco 49ers. We're a week away from the NFL draft, and the Deebo trade looms large, a demand that is very much real. Jimmy G raved about Deebo's skill set, of the savvy of Deebo Samuel, the kind of player and person that he is. And Jimmy G added, one way or another, Deebo's rightly going to get paid, and this is true. I think conventional wisdom at the end of the day is saying that Jimmy Garoppolo never plays another down again for the San Francisco 49ers, and reading the tea leaves, the Niners must listen to a Godfather offer from the Jets or the Chiefs on Deebo. Joel Embiid, you gotta love sports. Game-winning 3 at the end of overtime. Unbelievable. The Philadelphia 76ers now have a 3-0 series lead over Toronto. Look at this shot, and credit Doc Rivers, called that timeout when the possession was not working. Green with the inbounds, Harris with the screen, Embiid. I mean, this is a center, a big man. He is so gifted. What a special ball player. And look, the nuggets of jubilation, if you're a Philly fan, you gotta love sports. We're talking about a tie for the biggest comeback in the postseason so far, 17 points. They didn't take the lead in this ball game until overtime. The ebb and flow of this game last night was exactly what we said last night on Time to Shine. The crowd was going to be amazing. Toronto was going to come to play. I thought Philly was going to win, but Toronto really outplayed them throughout. Embiid wouldn't let his team loose. I mean, that is MVP caliber. You know that I'm on Team Jokic when it comes to the MVP, which is a regular season award. But that's the beauty of Joel Embiid. And after the game, he was asked about revenge in Toronto. 2019, bounce in. Kawhi Leonard. No. He said that's not what it's about. It's all about this year, this team. I am so impressed with Embiid, his attitude. He said we're treating Game 4 as a must-win, going for the jugular. I mean, that was awesome. James Harden was into it. He was part of the fabric of the offense, distributing the ball, not trying to do too much. That was an unbelievable comeback win, tough place to play. Joel Embiid, the 76ers, Doc Rivers. I mean, you gotta love sports. How about my guy Shohei Ohtani? Are you kidding me? You gotta love sports. He was perfect on the mound through 5 1/3 last night. He had 12 strikeouts. He didn't allow a run against the Houston Astros. You gotta love sports. We told you Ohtani was gonna win, and on Time to Shine last night, and we also gave the nugget as a starting pitcher, he had never beat the Houston Astros. Joe Madden, the skipper for the Angels, on our SiriusXM radio show on Monday, and he said it was important for Ohtani to get a victory on the mound against Houston and to win the games in the division. Look at this board, by the way. You gotta love sports. By the way, in addition to all those pitching nuggets, 2 hits, 2 RBI. He had a bunt single. I mean, you watch Ohtani play, stop, celebrate, appreciate. He is a unicorn. Take that, Babe Ruth. Shohei Ohtani. This was unbelievable. Oh, this is my favorite. I am so pro bunt. I mean, look, the shift is on. You always bunt when it's on. Use the speed. Watching him run. Angels take the series, by the way, against the Houston Astros. You gotta love sports. You gotta love sports if you're a Dodger fan. You gotta love sports if you love Freddie Freeman. How about this? I mean, this is right out of a movie. Freddie Freeman, 3 more hits against his former team, including his second home run of the series. The Dodgers take 2 out of 3 against the Atlanta Braves. You gotta love sports. And here's the deal, right? Freddie Freeman in Dodger blue, you knew he was going to be amazing this year, right? And, you know, if you're a Dodger fan, you're thrilled. Freddie, you're fired up. Put up these numbers against your former team who let you go. Listen, that's why you got to love sports. But to me, this is the bigger story. I mean, Cody Bellinger is back to his MVP form. Yeah, I said it. 2020 was a nightmare. 2021 was worse. Spring training this year was a debacle, and never would I cite spring training stats, but what is clearly mental after 2 years where he's been struggling, it becomes a thing. I mean, last year, Cody Bellinger was an automatic out. Belly is back. That is great news if you're a Dodgers fan. It's a big deal. Congrats to the Dodgers on winning the World Series. You gotta love sports.
Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe, and don't forget to hit the bell for more videos.